Hello, welcome to my studio. I mentioned that I would go over with everyone how our weekend sale went. So I'm going to get into that today, as also nothing ever goes according to plan. So right after we launch our unframed paper prints, our canvas manufacturer comes out with a new product that's even better than anything we could do before. So that causes us to rethink our whole frame paper prints approach. So stick around if you want to see what that's all about. Okay, first I'll talk about how our weekend promotion went. So as you know, we were launching the release of our brand new framed paper prints. And so we promoted this extensively on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We put a video on my YouTube channel and also my newsletter. So we did fairly well. We did about $4,000 in sales via our Shopify store on our website, which was actually okay, but it wasn't great. In hindsight, I realized that probably doing this on a long weekend is not a great idea because a lot of people are away. We were kind of under the gun though, because I have my show coming up in 2 weeks and we didn't want it too close to that. And we also couldn't start doing the promotions until we got all our stuff back from our framer. So as I said, we did about 4,000 in sales. And most of the traffic actually put in the coupon code from Facebook. We had a couple from my newsletter, 0 from LinkedIn, and 0 from Instagram. So that's kind of nice to know. Now I'm not going to base too much on that for just this one promotion, but I'll keep that in mind going forward. And also for LinkedIn, like I direct messaged 1,100 of my followers in Canada and the US. So that was about 5 hours of direct messaging, and that didn't result in any sales. Now it did result in a couple inquiries about commissioning originals and commissioning hand embellished giclées. So that may end up turning out to be worth it. But I know we've also done a lot of business in the past via LinkedIn. So the fact that it's a long weekend and most people that are on LinkedIn are business people, I have a strong suspicion a lot of them weren't checking their messages on the long weekend. Anyway, so that's how the sale went. We did a number of the frame paper prints, but also several large giclées. So that's where the majority of our sales came in because we offered the discount on those as well. So I think we sold about a dozen of the framed paper prints. But that leads me now to our new dilemma. As things always go, nothing goes according to plan. Literally, during the weekend sale, I got an email from our manufacturer that manufactures our canvas breathing color, that they've perfected their varnishless canvas. So up until now, all of our canvas prints, it's a two-stage process. The prints have to be printed first. They need to dry for 24 hours, and then they need to be varnished with a spray varnish. And that's a big extra step that takes a lot of manpower and just the logistics of having them hanging wet and drying needs an incredible amount more room to do that as well. So we've been eagerly waiting for this varnishless canvas, which has been in the works for about 3 years. Well, they finally just released it. So I thought before we go and start shipping out all these paper prints, we better check this varnishless canvas, because the reason that we wanted to go with the paper prints and not our canvas is we want to eliminate that varnishing stage. We don't want to be varnishing for these small prints, and with the canvas that we were working on, we had to do that. So now this varnishless canvas is out. So the first thing is, okay, I guess first of all we need to test it. So we just got our first roll yesterday, and Cameron did a test print. So this is the first test print here. Now I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but this is quite a bit better than the paper print. The thing with the paper print is there's a varnish put over it, a matte varnish that cuts down the glare, but it also somewhat lightens the entire thing. So the contrast from the darks to the lights is not nearly as strong on the varnished paper print as it is on this varnishless canvas. And also it somewhat mutes down the colors, which appear much more vibrant on this varnishless canvas. So that's kind of the first thing, is we realize, okay, we need to be going to the varnishless canvas. But the other option now is there's a satin version. This is a gloss version, and it's a little distracting. There's a little bit of reflection on here. Now on a big print, I don't think it's going to matter. Sorry, I've just got this tape down here now so that you can see them and so that I could make an objective decision. So we've ordered a small roll of the satin version, and we're going to be doing test prints of that tomorrow. And then we'll make a decision. So in my mind, there's no doubt this is markedly better than that. The only question we now need to determine is whether the satin finish is going to be better for this than the gloss. So what we're going to be doing, so now it's like, okay, I just spent $1,500 getting a version of every size of every piece framed with the varnished paper print. So on the one hand, you could think, oh my God, what a disaster. I don't really see it that way. I'm really happy that we've found this solution, which is even going to be better. And so I'm going to be actually contacting all of the people who ordered the paper prints. So Kathy, one of my regular YouTube subscribers, ordered actually this print. And yes, I will send a copy of the photo for you. So Kathy, we're going to be waiting a little bit till we figure out exactly which option we think is going to be best. And then we'll be contacting everybody who purchased the paper prints and explaining the situation and letting them choose, basically. If they want the framed, the varnished paper print, that's fine. If they want the canvas, then we'll do the canvas, but I'll decide kind of which version is better, and that's what we'll be doing going forward. Now, these are not a total loss, so that's the other thing. While these are not as good as these, they just aren't. These were the best option we had been able to come up with in years of trying to figure out how we were going to be able to present this, and obviously that's just fate, right? That weekend, literally, we become aware of an option that's even better. So I'm going to have these at my show that's coming up in a couple weeks in Toronto, and we'll have them there, and people can see them, and they'll be for sale. And we'll actually mark them down, probably, and explain the situation that going forward we're going to be going with this. But these are still a really good option, but they're not the best option. And it just kind of, when I was kind of worrying over this dilemma the last couple days, and I was watching another Tom Bilyeu video, and he was talking with someone who's an expert in sales and marketing, and it was just exactly like, I knew that this is probably what I was going to be doing, but I was kind of, you don't like making those hard decisions sometimes. And what he said just kind of rung home, and it's like, yeah, it's not even a question. If this is a better option, then that's what we're going to do. And he said, when you're in the marketing business, you're not in the sales business, you're in the reorder business. And so that's it. You don't want one sale. You want and he said, your product always has to be as high as you can possibly make it, because you don't want just that one sale. You want the resales back to the same client, or you want word of mouth to their friends and their family. So that's why we're going to be ordering the satin canvas. We're not going to make the same mistake again and just go print everything out here on the gloss varnish. We're going to make the determination what is the absolute best option, and then we'll be going forward with that. So yeah, that's why I didn't do the recap of the sale on Monday, because I was waiting to see how this would turn out. Part of me was hoping that this would be the best option, so we wouldn't have to redo everything. On the other hand, the big part of me was hoping this would be a better option, because if we can get a better quality product out there, at the end of the day, that's more important than the fact that we just ordered a whole pile of stuff that now is not going to be as good as what we're going to do going forward. So that's the life of an entrepreneur and being in business for yourself. So I hope you found this interesting. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Tell your friends, and I welcome your comments and questions. I'm Tim Packer, and I thank you for your time.